Hi, hello. Today, I think I'm going to talk about something that has been near and dear to my heart, and that's FRC. I just wanted to talk about it as like a review or something, share my experience for people who are thinking about joining or have joined. Maybe, hopefully, this reaches somebody who's like been thinking the same stuff as me about it. It's a community that I think has no matching, at least at the high school level. I don't believe there's any other program that has that same community as anybody else. I just wanted to like share my thoughts on it. And I wanted to share like some of my grievances. As much as I love the program, I have some like complaints about it, at least some reservations, if you will. This isn't I'm not saying these things out of hate. I'm saying this out of love for this program. Because if I was ever presented with an opportunity to be in high school again, I would definitely join it again. One of my complaints about this program is that it takes a lot of money to run it, and it's kind of pay to win experience because you need bread to get anywhere in this sport or whatever. And it's not, I know that's the case for almost every sport, but this in particularly, the average robot I think costs $5,000, $7,000, and it costs $2,000 to go to competition, not to mention all of the costs of housing and transportation. And especially, it just racks up over a long period of time, especially the more competitions you go to, like one of the major ones or even worlds. It's a lot of money to stay in. And I know teams that their robot does well and they just can't make it to like a state competition because they just don't have enough money to do it. And that's one of the my biggest grievances is because even if you overcome the barrier to make the robot, you still have to overcome the barrier to go to competitions, which is something that I don't believe is a good thing. Uh yeah, I just don't agree with people setting up GoFundMe's or like begging people to give them money to go to competitions. That shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be that expensive. But I know that running something like this is a lot of money. I'm just saying that there should be more funding, or at least the barrier to entry should be a lot lower so that teams from all over the world have a shot at making it to the big leagues, so that it doesn't have to be like Orbit or MadTown or those high caliber robotics teams going there all the time. What else? The next couple of complaints I think are for more personal for me, or at least I've witnessed and heard these things, and I sure hope it's not true, but there are definitely teams who have their mentors or coaches build the entire robot for them and program it. And I think there should be a stricter policy for catching stuff like that because that's just not sportsmanlike. That shouldn't be a thing. There are teams that have more mentors than there are students. And I don't know if this is a controversial take, but I don't think that should be the case. Like that's really sweet that you have so many people supporting you. But if they're making a robot for you, coding the robot, test driving it for you, that's a no for me, dog. Another thing that shouldn't be allowed is completely overhauling your design to be copying other successful robots. I remember last year one team
The tide's coming in! Oh! Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam, 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 bam. Ugh. Brother, ugh. What's that? What's that, brother?
I don't know. I understand like if your robot sucks, then you gotta change it to something. But like seeing that at a competition when you were playing with the robot you copied was kind of I don't know, man. It it I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, there can be arguments that people do that for RI3D and the kitbots those companies produce, but like that's just I don't know how to feel about copying the top performer in the world, you know? What else? Oh yeah. the kit bots. I'm not talking about the kit bot that is produced by FRC itself. I think that's a really cool thing to do. And the work that 118 does with their robot, their kind of kit bot designs is really cool. What I'm talking about are the ones that are built by like West Coast Products. There was a bunch of robotics teams that just straight up ripped that design or bought that design, which I don't know how to feel about that. I understand for like rookie teams or teams on a budget, it's understandable, but like teams who have the ability to design their own thing, just blatantly ripping off of, well, not ripping because they're selling it, but like basically buying a ready to go robot that performs exceptionally well is kind of lame. Kind of lame in my opinion. Just saying. But yeah, I'm not saying that top teams do this or anything, or I'm not accusing anybody of anything or anything, because at the end of the day, 99% of the stuff that is designed are by like high school students, and it's really cool. MadTown's robot last year, holy, that robot was so cool. You could put that on your resume until your 30s because like that design was so sick. You could get into MIT. I'm pretty sure maybe. I'm sure alumni from that team have gone to MIT. But it's like holy, it was so cool watching that thing go, and they deserved that win. That was such a cool robot. And Jack in the Bot and others. Orbit was really cool. Yeah, last year was probably one of the best FRC games I've ever seen and been part of, and it was really cool. Another thing that I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but it sure feels like it. But some of the top teams that have like larger teams, bigger budgets, a lot more resources behind them, they go smurfing in districts that are mainly low budget or have a lot newer robotics, and they just go there and dominate the competition for an easy blue banner. I feel like a lot, or at least where the region I'm in, there are a couple of these robots that do that, and I do not know if that's intentional or not. We'll see. I think one of the main reasons why I made this video was last year's game compared to this year's game is kind of like night and day, and not in a good way. I do not like this game, in my humble opinion. There's just not enough happening in this game. They got rid of one of the human players. They're just having them hoop. That's all they do the entire game. They just sit there and like hoop, I guess. I don't know. Like last year's game, you had the baller and the feeder, and they all had roles to play, and that was such a cool thing. Even though you had to have an elevator last year, the rookie teams or the lower budget teams were able to really help out with the L1 layer or scoring those algae. That was a huge deal. I remember seeing teams at even states that had L1 bots on their teams, and they were putting numbers up. A kit bot with good driver was something to not brush off. It was a big deal. This year, I think the barrier to being a good robot is much higher. Higher budget teams, all they need to do is just make two turrets or just like specialize in making high volume balls, especially the turret teams this year. It is a tough game. Lower budget teams or rookie teams don't really have the resources to make something as competitive. Like the top teams, they're scoring 300s every match. And I've been seeing way more lopsided games, and it's kind of disheartening. It doesn't really draw me to like really watch matches because at the end of the day they're just shooting balls. Last year you had these these robots that would reach up to 6 feet carrying pipes and scoring algae and like 6 feet 6 foot tenders and like running around all over the place. It was such an engaging game to watch. It was so cool. This year's game, I just feel like they didn't really achieve a good game. I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm sure drivers and robotics students are really having a great time making these contraptions that just shoot balls. I don't get me wrong. I like balling, and it's really cool seeing those those times where the sheer amount of fuel cells that go in the hopper or whatever, that it's really fun to see, but that's literally it. There's nothing special. They don't even have cooperation in this match. For those who don't understand cooperation, it's like where you and the other team like agree on lowering the bar to entry based on like a game element each team has to score or like an agreement. They got rid of that, and it's kind of weird. Like I don't know who designed this game, but I don't think this is the best one. As cool as the visuals were for the reveal, like the second I saw that video, I was like, oh, this seems like this doesn't seem as fun to watch. Cool, they added a bump, but like it's just a bump. I don't know what they were thinking. Were they thinking that it would be a challenge for swerve bots to go over? Would it be challenging for tank? Literally anybody can go over that bump. I don't know what they were thinking. Like the human player does nothing. The climb is worthless, kind of. I haven't seen a whole lot of people use that climb, and rarely anybody I think has built a bot that goes all the way to the top except for some of the top teams. That thing is literally useless. Everybody's focused on scoring points. The shift system I was kind of adamant on, but I think it's a decent idea. I like that each team has a chance to like disrupt the other team from scoring, and that's kind of cool. Brings defense back a little bit, and yeah, it's fun, I suppose. But yeah, I sorry to rant. It's just I'm very passionate about this topic still. I guess just to restate, I'm saying this out of love. I do not hate this program. I absolutely love what it has done for high schools and for teenage people all over the country and all over the world. This has brought so many people together and has brought so much innovation and ideas. It really prepares high school students for what engineering jobs and what college is going to be like, what working with people is going to be like, pitch ideas, how to rally sponsors, how to make merch, how to design stuff, how to CAD, how to program. It just teaches you so much, and it's such a valuable thing. And it's probably one of the best high school programs out there. And I really recommend, well, I highly recommend anybody who's entering high school or is still in a high school should stop by their school's robotics team and say hello or try out for your robotics team if you're one of those high schools. Well, this has been my TED Talk. I hope it's kind of coherent, and thank you for listening. And yeah, if you have any other thoughts or opinions or takes, or you think my take is bad, uh yeah, let me know in the comments. I hope you have a good day. Bye.